Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Anthony Simmons, aka Mr. Higher Heights himself. I know I've been gone on a short sabbatical, taking a break, chilling, taking some time to myself, getting my mental health in a space that I need to have it. Now, with that being said, I want to let you all know that sometimes it's okay to take a break from social media. Yes, I said it. If nobody else tells you, sometimes you just gotta take a break and get some peace and get back to reality. Spend some time with some family and friends. Actually have interaction with real people. That is still okay in 2023. Now, with that being said, I took a short break, but guess what? Superman is back. And I'm going to be talking to y'all today about a good topic, a trending topic, a topic that I'm sure is all over your news feeds, your timelines, and if you're a fan of anything sports, it's in your algorithm, so I'm sure you've been seeing it. On today, we're going to be talking about some of you all's favorite pro basketball playing athlete. Yes, he wears the number 12, and he also plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. If you don't know who I'm talking about none other than Ja Morant. Yes, some people are calling him Ja Wick. One thing I want to say is this, because I know that the media has flooded your timelines with it. Like I said, they're talking about it all over the place on all these social media and media outlets. Everybody has their take on what's going on with Ja Morant. And guess what? That's all good to have your take, but nobody is providing a solution. So I promise you, if you give me a few minutes of your day, we're going to not only dive into this issue, but we're going to talk about some very real solutions if you really want to help this young brother out, because he is a young adult. He's an adult, but he's a young adult, and we keep forgetting that this is a new time, a new generation, but the same old, same old. And I don't care how much money a person being paid, it does not make them grown, and it does not change their mentality. It actually enhances what a person is already going through in their heart. You know that this channel is faith-based, so everything we talk about is faith-based, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. The Bible says the issues of life come out of the heart. So it doesn't matter what you're surrounded with, it doesn't matter how you're dressed and the money you have. Your mentality is your mentality. Your mind and the things that are in it are going to eventually come out. And I believe that's what's happening with your boy, Ja Morant. Before we do that, if you're new to the channel, let me let you know what you can do to the channel. I need you to go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because you definitely don't want to miss when I'm dropping content like this. With no further ado, let's get it. Now, I'm not one who likes to beat a dead horse. I do like to make my point about something, but I do not like to beat a dead horse.
Which means constantly discussing the issue until we dig so much of a hole that it's buried so far down that nobody will ever find it again.
I'm telling y'all this right now. Despite what you've been seeing all over the news media and outlets all this time, you got to understand, I got a healthy respect for somebody like Ja and his background and what he had to get through and go through to get to where he is. I also have a respect, despite what some might think about his father, because his father had to be a strong role model, mentor, and a guide in his life in order to get him and navigate through these paths to get him to the NBA, particularly in this case when Ja Morant wasn't even recruited to go to college. Like, there were no scholarships pouring in for him. If you know his story, you know what I'm talking about. We're not going to go into that today deeply, but I'm just telling you, this kid did not have all the Division I offers. Matter of fact, he didn't even go to a Division I college. He did not have all the offers pouring in to get to where he had. He had to actually work hard. It took a lot of hard work. It took a little bit of luck and some faith to get to where he got today. And where are we today? Exactly. We are at a person who was actually getting ready to set himself up for generational wealth. Yes, he's already plenty wealthy. He's got his first contract underway, but he was getting ready to go into the next season where he was up for the max contract, which is upwards in the 200s and some odd millions, okay? So before these 6 or 7 incidents that just happened in these last 2 months, this kid was actually up to be able to make money. This is just NBA now, his NBA contract upwards to the amounts of 200 and some odd million dollars. Now, we all know that in the black community, it's not easy to get to that level, and we have to do a lot of things and be a lot of ways in order to get there. So he was there coming into the next season. The next season that was coming up, he was getting ready to sign his extension, not to mention all of the advertisement, all of the endorsement deals that's going to come along with being the face of an NBA franchise. This kid has set himself up in a position to not only be the face face of the Memphis Grizzlies, the face of the NBA. He was one of the young, bright stars in the NBA. Now, why do I mention all this? I don't mention this in context to beat him up about it, about what he's about to lose, because we have a plethora of people on the internet getting ready to do that. People who are providing their opinion on how stupid, idiotic, moronic the things and the events that have taken place in the last 2 months in this young man's life are. And while I'm not giving this dude a pass at all, because it is idiotic, it is stupid, it is beyond the realm of thinking with a rational mind. Now, we all know that, but to be honest, the things he has done reminds me of a lot of guys that I see with this hood mentality, a lot of guys that I see that have something to prove, a lot of guys that I see who are all fit the same criteria, what? Young and hood mentalities. Young and hood mentalities. Now you say, well, why would he have this mentality? He's rich. He can live out his dreams. He has something that other people don't have. I'm getting ready to tell you why. Now, first of all, Ja Morant does not strike me as a hood dude. Let's just put it out there. Everybody's already said that. Ja Morant is not a hood guy. How do I know he's not a hood street guy? Because hood street guys don't spend hundreds to thousands of hours working on a craft that leads them to become a professional in that way. If they could, they would. If they did, they would be in his position. So obviously, he was not in the streets. But guess what? That does not mean that he didn't have the desire, or he did not want or long to be fitting in with a certain social group as he came up. Because we all know that when you play sports and you're very good at sports, the hood kind of like sets you apart and is like, hey, look, you leave that guy alone. He doing what he doing. We don't even like put you in that atmosphere or that stratosphere, because we see you as somebody striving towards something that can be successful. This is why I respect his father on that note. But here's the key thing. Here's the thing that I want to tell y'all about mental health. This guy actually has some mental health issues. But what I want to say is it's no different than a lot of guys his age and a lot of people his age have. Now, everybody can sit back and play Monday morning quarterback. Monday morning quarterback is the person who doesn't actually play but sits back and analyzes every mistake that somebody else makes, or the backseat driver who can tell you should have took a left when you took a right, or tell you all the things they can do, and it's lovely, but you're not actually operating the vehicle. Ja Morant is in a position that very few individuals on this earth will actually ever have the chance to experience, and it's easy for us to sit back and analyze all of his mistakes, and why they are very dumb mistakes, and why they are very frequent and coming back to back, we have to realize this guy's 21, 22 years old, and he should be treated as such, which means this: if he cannot handle the responsibility that is on him, it's going to take what I call an intervention. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's talk about mental health. Y'all, this is a very real thing this guy's dealing with. This is a very real thing that we deal with in the black community, with young black people thinking that we always have to appear hard. Like we always have to project this thuggish gangster image. When you're black, he probably longed to be this way. There's no excuse or no reason for him to have to feel this way, but it lets us know how much work we still yet have to do in the black community when it comes to cleaning up the mindsets of our youth, when it comes to cleaning up the mindsets of the next generation going forward, because we can't begin to experience what being really wealthy is. Being rich is one thing, but being wealthy, living wealthy is another thing. We have to buy the designer clothes, the nice cars. We have to have the best house, and we got to have all of these extravagant things to show people how much money we actually have. That's part of the mental health issue too, whether we begin to delve into that or not. Now let's look into this. You got all these media outlets. You got the NBA coming down hard on this guy. You got all the podcasts coming down hard on this guy. Rightfully so. I understand it. It's clicks. This is a numbers game. Everybody wants to get their numbers up. He's a hot target right now. He's low-hanging fruit right now. And everybody acts like they're giving their opinion like they really care about a person. And I beg to differ, because what I tell people, when you really care about somebody, then you're going to go to lengths and extremes to actually show them tough love. Because love is not just loving a person to death. It's also loving a person to life. I used to tell people, you hear the grandmama saying, oh, I love my grandson to death, or I love my grandchildren to death, or the mother saying, I love my children to death. And that's the problem. You loving them to death. Life is going to take care of them for them. You need to love them to life. Part of loving somebody is also discipline. also stepping in when their life is spiraling out of control and actually trying to guide them back on the right path. Well, you say, well, people are doing that. They're online and they're saying, oh, this is stupid and you're being idiotic and you're blowing all this money. Well, guess what? Obviously, he isn't even in the right mental capacity to understand what he has at stake to lose. You understand what I'm saying? When you're 21, 22, you know how much money I blew being 21 and 22? You know the mindset that I had when I was 21 and 22? I often talk to God and I say, God, thank you because you know what's best for me. Because I couldn't imagine being like LeBron James coming straight out of high school, $90 million shoe contract. Just your shoe contract was $90 million. I couldn't imagine with the mindset that I had some of the things that I would have done. My father asked me a question back in the day. He said, would you do this? A certain thing he was asking me. Would you do this, son? And I said, oh, the right answer, the righteous answer, the obvious answer. No, I would never do that, Dad, that certain thing that you were asking me. He said, well, let me spin the question in a different way. Would you do this if you had the means and you could get away with doing this? See, oftentimes we often know the cliche answer and the right thing to say to a certain topic. But when we're put in a predicament where we spin the question and we change the narrative to where, what if you could get away with it? What if you had the means to do this? See, because right now it's easy for you to say no when you know there's no possible way you could even do this, let alone get away with it. But what if you could? That changed my mindset. So none of us are in Ja Morant's position or shoes. And even those athletes who's been in his shoes, all they're doing is wanting to offer their take on it. Cool, get your clicks, get your likes up, get your views up. That's cool. But on this show, I'm going to offer a very real solution. Now, I told you earlier, everybody wants to go to attack his father. And I am of the same ilk. I believe that the father should step in and be a father. The mother should step in and be a mother. And when I look at situations where the mother actually called her son during a confrontation she was having at the mall and putting her son's life at risk over a confrontation she was having with mall security or mall employees, like, your son is worth 200-something million. Why would you even say, I'm going to call my son? And knowing the mentality, you obviously had to know the mentality that your son was going to show up with. That's just one of the incidents. Also, everybody wants to get on the father. He's at every game, but he's obviously acting more like a friend right now and a buddy right now than an actual father. And that's kind of rough because guess what? I've never been in a situation where maybe, and I haven't gone to that level of life yet to where my kids actually are millionaires or they make a lot of money. I don't know how that would feel, but I obviously pray to God that they are actually successful, but I never want to be out of the realm of where I have to feel like I'm less than them, or I put myself out of the position of having the respect of being the person who brought them into this world. Yes, they're going to become their own individuals. Yes, if they work hard, they're going to see success. But I also always want to be seen in that light to where I am the beacon, the light where they can come to for guidance and sound doctrine. With that being said, yes, his father needs to take accountability. His mother needs to take accountability. The NBA needs to take accountability. So what I suggest is this. I suggest a real life intervention. Yes, all the punishments are great. All the things he's going to lose is great. But some people don't learn through that. Some people will still throw their life away. Even if you go ask a crackhead on the corner right now, do you want to stop smoking crack? Most of them will tell you now. I know some of them will tell you, yeah, I love smoking crack. But some people will say, yeah, I want to stop smoking crack. But they don't know how to. They don't know how to. They don't have the willpower to stop doing this. The same way with Ja Morant. Ja Morant obviously does not have the fortitude or the knowledge to be able to stop performing some of the acts he does. We have interventions for drugs. We have interventions for alcohol abuse. We have interventions for people who are with domestic violence. We have all kind of interventions. And this is a situation that I believe calls for an intervention. Meaning, this is what you do to Ja Morant. Not only when you sit him down as a businessman in the NBA front offices and start talking to him about this situation, you have his mother there. You have his father there. You have his sister there. You have everybody that's closely important to him in there to let everybody know that it's not only the NBA wanting to punish you. You're not only standing to lose all these things that you're standing to lose, but you put all these peers and colleagues and family in one room showing a support of love. Now, and being on one front, on one accord, on one page. Because right now he's hearing a lot of individual chatter from this podcast and this media outlet, and the NBA wants to punish him, and everybody's calling them dumb, and everybody's calling them stupid, and the daddy's probably over there with his own little opinion, and the mama's over here having her own little opinion. But if everybody really cares about a person, when you really care about an individual, when you really love an individual, you don't just come with the problem. Everybody knows the problem. We've seen the problem, but where's the solution? Now, am I saying that this is foolproof? Am I saying that if we confront Ja in this way as a community that loves him and put everybody in one room who's got all these opinions and confront him, that this is going to change his behavior? No, but it will offer a solution, an outlet, and let him see visually the people that care about him. Am I saying they haven't done this? No, but this hasn't been made known. What do you expect a 21, 22-year-old kid to say when they mess up? Because I've heard a lot of people getting on him about the statement that the PR people put out about how he's apologizing, taking accountability. Yes, I have kids. When you have kids, you learn them. Yeah, they're going to say they're sorry. Yeah, they're going to have the dumb face when they actually get caught up doing what they're doing. Yeah, and it's going to happen repeatedly, and all you can hope is that they learn their lesson before it's too late. But if we really care about Ja, it takes a village to raise a child. And this guy is still a child regardless of what y'all may believe. And everybody wants to beat up. Everybody wants to pile on. But what happens if his mental health is actually unstable? He loses everything. Do we care what happens to him then? No, we don't. Similar to the old adage when I was growing up and they always used to warn you about the tales of being an athlete. Once the money, once the glitz, once the glamour is gone, all the hangers-on and the followers are going to disappear and leave you lonely and dissipated. So they used to always wonder, you need to have something to fall back on just in case you blow your knee out. You know, there used to be that old adage, but it's similar in this situation. Everybody who's hanging on to him, everyone who loves Ja for what he can do, for what he can provide, when his career is over or when something happens to him that ends this, everybody is going to treat him like a misfit, like nothing. And his mental health is not good. Do we really care about a brother? Do we really care about his life? Or do we want to use this opportunity to pounce on it to get clicks and views? That's all I'm saying, y'all, here on Higher Heights. If you haven't done it already, I need you to go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Also, I need y'all to say in the comments, do you think an intervention is something that's plausible, something that fits this narrative in this situation? Or do you think we need to go to even more extreme lists? Comment down below in the comments. Let me know. I love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. Until the next time, y'all be blessed.